the Walkthru the catalog. We're not intending to treat, diagnose, cure anything. What's said here is for the purpose of empowerment of the body. But tonight we're going to be talking about some really cool things that help with a lot of digestive disorders into the Walgreens, CVS, or local store that we just pick up antacids, and we're protecting ourselves. But what we don't realize is we're actually not. We're actually hindering the processes.
So this is if you're taking any antacids. So for example, if you're taking Pepcid or Tagamet or Zantac or one of those, something like that, these are the nutrients that you are depleting. So one would be calcium, folic acid, iron, vitamin B12, vitamin D, and zinc. So you want to be taking extra of those if you're taking one of those antacids. There's another one for Prevacid and Prilosec. Those are another couple popular ones. That one those only deplete vitamin B12. It's the general aminoglycosides. You have gentamicin, neomycin, or streptomycin. One of those, you're depleting all your B vitamins, vitamin K, and your friendly beneficial intestinal bacteria. So your gut flora is going to get disturbed. So you would need probiotics for that.
And what people don't realize is when you're taking antacids, you're actually preventing. So say, for example, you have acid reflux. Well, your acid is coming back up, but the problem is you don't have too much acid. The problem is you don't have enough acid. So really, when you take that antacid, that's basically putting a fire suppressant on a fire. You're actually fueling the fire because you're decreasing your acid, but your body's saying, hey, give me more acid. So what we're going to talk about is actually working synergistically with your body to give it the tools that it needs to. So problems with HCl, so hydrochloric acid in the stomach. That hydrochloric acid is so strong that if you cut it open, you're cut open your stomach and you pour that acid out, it's going to burn a hole literally in the ground. You have indigestion or heartburn, lactose, milk intolerance. You've got gas, which is also flatulence or wind or bloating, belching, burping, sleepy after meals. You feel bad after you consume food, just negative thoughts even, constipation or diarrhea, and bowel irritations. Of course, there's actually more depending on what goes on, but these are some of the more common things that you're needing some hydrochloric acid in the stomach if you've got that. Hydrochloric acid production declines at age 30. And I know I'm well over this number, but hydrochloric acid plays 4 roles, and that's that HCl. And this one specifically is stomach targeted. So BetaGest as a little purple, red pill, however you want to look at it. But hydrochloric acid absorbs calcium, helps with the absorption of calcium, phosphorus, iron. And if you look at just calcium and phosphorus, when you think about that, those are your strong bones. You've got your iron, you've got your magnesium and vitamin B12. It begins the breakdown of proteins so that the proteases, which is the protein enzyme, can denature into amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks. They're the glue. We'll talk more about that as it comes up. It also activates stomach secreted pepsin, which is the protein enzyme, which is huge because if you have insufficient pepsin, you can actually result in an inefficient protein digestion, which actually that's where the gas and intestinal discomfort come from. It also, hydrochloric acid, kills the harmful bacteria that enter the food. This is really cool. So it shows you, again, it's the stomach targeted. It has a protein enzyme. It has actually hydrochloric acid in there. Again, it's not going to burn your stomach. It's not going to burn your throat. It's encoded and protected, so it doesn't have any of those effects. And it helps digest lactose or milk sugar. Betaine hydrochloride and acid stable. So it's going to help go in there and help give you that hydrochloric acid, and it's going to help stabilize your stomach. It has acid activated proteases, including papain, which is in papaya, pepsin and pectin, which improve protein digestion. And it actually addresses the occasional indigestion of the stomach, not just the symptoms. So you're just not covering up something. It's going to actually help promote. And you can see it's actually derived from lemons, licorice root, and beets. So that's what gives it that purple color. So if you look at your fill in the blank, we're going to start with the first one. So again, it comes from the leaves of the beet. You do not want to take this before you go to bed, as when you lie down, it will actually, because it's helping with the production of hydrochloric acid, it will come back into your throat and burn. So that being said, just like it says on the bottle, you actually need to consume it right before or with a meal. Again, limit your water or liquid intake to 6 ounces, which should be fine. But adding that hydrochloric acid is going to help churn and burn and break down the foods. So all of your health starts in the gut, which is where we need everything to pass through. So you want to go ahead and start us off?
Okay, so for the fill-ins, number 1 is going to be tremendous for heartburn. You want to do all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, it is great to help with the low immune system. Again, because it's what, 70%?
70 to 80%
of your immune system is in your gut.
Yep.
So you build your healthy gut, you got a good immune system. Number 3, it may relieve constipation challenges if you have that. And on the opposite side of that, number 4, it can help also with diarrhea.
Okay, now this is a fun word. Go ahead and spell that one out because I always get this.
I can never spell it either.
Yes.
Diarrhea is DIARRHEA.
Yeah, doesn't even sound like how it's spelled, but okay.
You came up with that? I don't know. Number 5, it's wonderful for reflux. Number 6, it helps with painful stomach aches. If you get that bloating, gas, indigestion, you get that very bad tummy ache, just pop in a couple of those. It should help. So you can actually take it in between meals as well, to help break down the inflammation and the garbage in your intestines. Helps kind of just move everything out of there and keep it flowing.
All right, so that was the stomach targeted. And if you think about it, the first thing that happens when it goes through, when you start thinking about food, your saliva actually starts secreting enzymes. That's actually the first step in getting your body prepared to take on food. And then you chew it up and the chyme continues down and it goes, the first place it goes is through the stomach. So the thing is if you get stuff that's in the stomach that's too big, it can't be absorbed correctly. And that can actually cause that, again, that reflux is because you don't have enough hydrochloric acid to break down that food. But then it keeps going down, and yes, there's the gallbladder with the liver and the pancreas, and then you finally get into the, and I think I'm missing a couple organs, but I apologize for that. But then you get down into the intestines, you get down into the small intestines, the large intestines, and then that's connected to the colon. So your small intestines and large intestines are huge. Like your small intestines, I believe they say if you stretch out your small intestines, it will go about a football field length. And I know we know what football field or soccer field, they're roughly about the same size. Our intestines are long, and how our bodies are created this way, it is insane. But we do have problems when stuff gets stuck. So if we have two larger pieces that get through the stomach, it's going to get stuck in the intestines. That opens us up for small irritable bowel obstructions, also diverticulitis, and so forth. So there's a lot going on when it comes to, we got to get it through the stomach and broken down correctly. So when it gets into the intestines where it needs to be absorbed, that's where all the nutrients get absorbed. That's where it can continue on. So feeling awful, indigestion, bear with me one sec. Okay, indigestion or heartburn. And we got gas again, flatulence, and this is unpleasant wind. So there's one thing if you fart and you're like, it's a fart. Then you have, it's a fart clear the room. It's one of those ones you fart underneath the blanket and start. Oh, I'm giving away TMI. Sorry, my bad. Ha ha. You guys are all laughing. So unpleasant winds. So that one, like, will vacate an office or like anywhere around you. That's one of those, like, oh, someone just let one rip. Okay. Belching, burping, gastric reflux, sleepy after meals, feel bad after food. So feel bad after food, constipation or diarrhea, bad breath, surprisingly, or intestinal gas. And that's where we feel those gurgles. You feel like, that's intestinal gas. Food or milk allergies, you're avoiding certain foods, or you're missing a gallbladder. I'm gonna tell you, if you're missing a gallbladder, this is the one that everyone definitely needs to be on. The stomach is targeted, is definitely essential to help break it down. But this one you're gonna see in a minute, it's intestine targeted. So go for it.
So this one uses pH specific activated enzymes. So they break down into, it's because the pH in your intestines is different than that of your stomach. So it has to get through the stomach so it can break down at a higher pH than your stomach. So it helps again to digest all your proteins, your carbs, your fats, all that stuff. So the protein has proteolytic enzymes and proteases like papain. So it has a lot of similar ingredients as the other one to help break down the protein into the amino acids. And your carbohydrates, it has the carbolytic enzymes, diastase from malt, and amylase, which is your carb enzyme. And that breaks the carbs down into the simple sugars. And then for your fats, it has the lipolytic enzymes, the lipase, bile salts, because the gallbladder is your bile source. So
it's your reservoir.
So if you don't have the gallbladder, you don't have the bile. So this will help give you those bile salts that you need, which is supposed to be naturally produced from the liver or in the liver from cholesterol. And then you have your dehydrochloric acid.
And that's the thing is so for those people that don't have their gallbladder, your liver does produce bile. But the problem is if you eat a very large meal or something that's hard on the stomach, when you're talking about proteins, when you're talking about fats, those are especially hard on the digestive tract. It takes a lot longer to break down. So if you are lacking your gallbladder, which is the reservoir, if the liver says, hey, we got a huge meal, I don't know what to do, I've got 300 other processes that I'm responsible for, I need a little bit of help, but oh shoot, you're not there to help me, it left me high and dry, what do I do? So now you're gonna have this influx and actually things will start going backwards. That's not good. So we want to aid the liver and say, hey, we don't have that gallbladder anymore, but we're going to give you some support. So the fill in the blanks, let me bring that up. We're going to go to the Enzyme Digestive Aid, and it's actually for the intestines, mainly for the small intestines, because again, that's where the majority of all of the nutrient absorption is going to take place. The stomach's already churned it, it's broken it down into smaller absorbable pieces, and it continues into the intestines where it says, all right, intestines, take what you need, and then what you don't need, we're going to continue on to the large intestine, and then eventually, hey, we're going to talk about poop again. We're going to poop it out. So anyways, so for the small intestines, we, number one,
continues to break down the food. So that's for number one is break down food. So again, you don't want that building up in your system. You want it to break down and get through in a timely manner so it doesn't sit there and ferment. Number two, it helps with the gas. And number three helps with
not the gas in your car.
Constipation. The constipation, you want to take probably 2 to 3.
And you'll see
that 2 is the actual.
You'll see, well, it's actually, it depends on the person, because you'll actually see on the bottles that it can be 2 to 3. I believe this one is actually 2 to 4.
2 to 4, yeah.
So it varies from person to person on the support that you need.
Number 4, it helps with your immune system. Again, it just helps clean out everything in your gut. So clean gut, good immune system.
Yep.
Number 5 helps to sweep out the colon.
Let's sweep out the poop.
Hmm.
We're gonna do the poop, doc.
So keeps things flowing.